Wake-up call or snooze, Kaz. Daniel Jones takes a giant step forward in the victory yesterday over the Washington football team.
Oh my gosh. I think the great Michael Jordan once said something like this: the ceiling is on the floor when it comes to Daniel Jones, all right? We are celebrating the fact that the ceiling on the roof is still on the floor. It's a remix. I'm remixing it this morning for New York City. Daniel Jones, for the first time in his career, didn't turn the ball over. He did lose the ball twice. Let's not get it twisted. He did fumble the ball twice, but he didn't give the ball to the other team. Do you know that he has had a turnover in every single one of his 22 games that he's played in his entire career? I don't know what's good with Daniel Jones. I mean, they did pull out the win. He did play pretty well, but I think he needs to go to like the Tiki Barber school of not fumbling, right? Like this is a great shot that our producer's pulling up. Daniel Jones getting absolutely rocked by that really impressive Washington Redskins defensive line. But he didn't cough the ball up. He didn't give the other team an opportunity to take advantage of them. And that is the top priority as a quarterback. Win the game, manage the game, don't give up extra possessions. Daniel Jones, you're learning. But baby steps, baby steps. Giant steps is a lot for me, but baby steps. Let's get there.
I agree with you, and I'm glad that you pointed out the stout defensive line. I am a native of the Washington area, so Chase Young being scary, Montez Sweat, those guys on that line, I'm here for it. But what I will say is, for as much as the NFC East is catching heat for not being the most depth, the league with or the division with the most depth,
that was
you have
I respect the political correctness there.
I was looking for it, right? I found it. But I think you have to applaud Daniel Jones for taking care of business. I mean, on the other end, you saw what happened to Kyle Allen in terms of injuries. The quarterback situation here in D.C. is what it is. The Cowboys quarterback situation, that's another one that's a mess. But if Daniel Jones can prove that he's growing this year when the other teams in the division aren't, Super Bowl caliber squads, this is a big time opportunity for him to grow and be better.
Yeah, it's almost incredible that like in a blink of an eye, Daniel Jones is probably the best quarterback in the NFC East.
That is wild. That is
by
so
default,
wild.
like it's rough out there in that division. But
so wild. All right, so we mentioned Washington versus New York on the football field yesterday. As I mentioned, am a native of the DMV area. Let me just make sure my New York folks are hip to what that term means. It is D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. That's our area. So it sparked this little conversation between Kaz and I. We saw this on Twitter yesterday, the conversation about footwear and which area or region gets credit for what styles. But we felt like we should lean all the way into fall and these cool temperatures and what you wear when it's cold outside. So, Kaz, what's New York rocking?
Listen, obviously, you can never go wrong with the Wheat Constructs, a.k.a. the original Timberland boot that New York City has made a staple of. But, oh, my gosh. I know I've grown up on these boots. It is as much a part of New York City as the Statue of Liberty, as the New York Yankees, as a baseball cap. Like, there's nothing more New York than those wheat tin boots, man. It represents the heart and soul of the city. It represents the blue collar workers of New York. It represents the hood. It represents everything, man. As soon as you see those wheat Tims, it's the reason why you've seen these memes crawling all over the internet for almost a decade now about how much Timberland boots mean to New York City. But I gotta say,
I feel that coming from you. I feel that coming from you. And I think Timbs obviously have a special relationship in New York, but they are a national shoe. I remember the one time I had a pair and I was like, Mom, I don't want these. My feet are too big and they're too aggressive. Now, on to the Nike boots, which is more of a signature of the DMV area. I think the margin between Timbs and Nike boots is not crazy, but I do think our area tends to lean toward Nike boots and then polo boots over Timbs. There's plenty of running jokes about these. It becomes a work shoe, a casual shoe, a snow shoe. Personally,
it's a dress shoe. You can wear it with a suit.
Girl. What?
It's a dress shoe. You can even wear it with a suit, man. Shout out to my brother Wale, man. He put Nike boots on the map, especially the ACGs. But I gotta say, I hope my New York card doesn't get taken from this. The Nike boot is definitely way more comfortable than the Timbs, all right? My feet can't take all the. Listen, don't tell nobody in New York. Don't tell nobody I said this out loud. But just as
don't
far
tell
as,
our listening audience in the city of New York.
Oh, my gosh, listen. Nike know what they do when it comes to making some footwear. I give you that much.